Hi guys, thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. My name is Catherine and I tell true stories. So my story today is about African hair. Why some African women are ashamed of their natural Afro hair. Afro hair is the hair that is very curly, and so when you comb it, it forms a big round curl. Or it's stiff, it doesn't fall, it's just stiff. You know, when you pass your finger through it, you have to comb it again. So there is a story behind why some, not all, Africans are embarrassed about their natural hair. You will never see their natural hair at one point in your life. You will always see them wearing weaves, wigs. You will always see them in braids, or you will see them in relaxed hair and not their textured Afro hair. And when they remove their wig or remove their weave or remove their braid, they will either tie a headscarf on their heads or just don't go out at all unless their hair is straight. Now, watch to the end so that you know why this is the thing. You know, in the beginning, the Africans really valued their Afro hair. The higher it went, they believed, the closer to the mighty somebody was. And so they will try as much as they can to make it go high and high. And you know, it's very strong hair because it has very strong curls, and so it wouldn't fall. And even if it fell, it will still fall in a big afro curve. Now, they used to be proud of their hair and they used to take care of it in different ways, like the Fulani in Africa used to apply some ochre kind of stuff to make it stronger. And then the colonists came, the Europeans. They came to colonize the Africans and made them believe that they have the worst hair that anyone can ever think of. They want to touch and see how exactly does it feel. Well, the difference is just that we have tighter curls. Some hairs, the Caucasian hair does not have curls. But I don't know why they made the Africans believe that having such kind of hair is like a curse. In that the African women now began feeling embarrassed of their own hair and believing that you need to have straight hair in order to be considered beautiful hair. It reached a point that it was considered unprofessional to go with your textured hair, with your natural hair to work. Like, for example, in the airlines or other companies generally will not allow Afro hair, will not take it as professional hairstyle. And so they had to create a standard that hair should be like this and like this, should be straight and tied behind or something like that. Well, an Afro hair can as well be tied behind, but cannot be allowed in some workplaces just to come in an Afro hair like that. So it is just colonization that actually made the Africans hate their hair to the extent of now having to start wearing wigs and staying in braids to hide their own hair. Okay, braids are supposed to be like to give hair a break from combing, It's like a protective style to give your hair a break between combing and it's a style that just helps to keep your hair healthy, but keeping the braids long in the hair of course destroys the hair follicles, and that has resulted to alopecia. Yeah, it has resulted to alopecia. That is the loss of hair, tracheal alopecia, loss of hair due to pulling. If you stay with a braid for a long time, uh, the new growth of the hair pushes the braid, and so the braid is heavier than the hair, and the hair is left hanging there like that, and it breaks because the weight of the braid becomes heavier than the hair, and thus somebody loses the hair. And so that has caused alopecia, and now that makes them embarrassed because they have hair loss on the sides of the hair. Reason? They were trying to hide their hair. They're trying to make their hair long and like straight like the Europeans or the whatever other nationalities. Wigs, weaves, pull the hair, and so also causes alopecia just to keep up with the standard that the westernized believe that is the right kind of hair. I don't know where they've got that concept. These are some of the reasons that the Africans hate their own natural hair. And another reason is that because long time ago there was no proper product for the African hair. The Africans themselves did not understand their kind of Afro hair. And so, because it was exposed to breakage, they believe that it cannot grow beyond the shoulders, which is not right. African hair can grow as long as any other Caucasian hair, as long as it's taken care of. That is, if you want to have the long hair. All that it needs is products that are full of moisture. Moisture is all it needs because it's created in such a way that it's tight curls. Its structure makes it water starved. It needs more moisture to keep it healthy. And so, after a long time, finally it was discovered that that's the only thing that needs the African hair to retain length, to grow longer like any other hair, just moisture. So, most of the products that the Africans now use are full of moisture. They need to have something written on aqua for your products for the hair. That is water. Another thing is before Africans used to believe that why people think that Africans have dirty hair is another embarrassing thing about African hair, which is not true. It is just a lack of knowledge for some Africans with Afro hair who think that if you wash your hair, then it becomes short. The thing is, if you wash your hair, it doesn't become short, it only shrinks, as in the curls tighten. It just shrinks, and it still retains its length, only that it shrinks. And so it can be blown out or it can be made into locks to retain its length, to straighten it out if you want it a little bit out. Otherwise, if you want, you can keep your curls. That is why the Africans are ashamed of their hair, because of the misconceptions that people have about them. People think that they don't wash their braids. Well, braids are just a break between you losing hair, and maintaining the length, because when you're wearing braids, you're not combing your hair every time, and so you don't lose a lot of hair through breakage. Braids are also washed like any other. And so in the 1960s, the African Americans decided that this is not going to continue. People are just not going to go against us like this, thinking they're more superior because they have long, white, Caucasian hair, different hair. So to rebel, the African Americans, or we call them Afro Americans, decided to keep their afro. So the Afro hairstyle was actually a rebellion against the colonists, the discriminations against the blacks. So wearing the Afro was empowerment of the blacks. It was a sign of power from the black people, of embracing their own culture. That is wow how the Afro came about, the history of the Afro. Then the Africans who were wearing wigs to hide their real hair are just not Africans, Afro. The actual origin of the wigs actually was Egypt, so it says, because it's believed that the Egyptians used their hair to show their status. You're on a higher rank if you have this kind of hair. If you're wearing this kind of wig, you are at a higher rank. And even the female Egyptians used to wear a wig of a beard. You imagine you have a wig on your hair and you have a wig of a beard as well to show your status. And even the men will wear the wigs. The men who were rich or were like the royals were allowed to shave their hairs completely so that they can wear the wig anytime they want. When the weather changes, they can remove the wig. When it's cold, they can wear the wig to keep it warm. It showed status. But if you were on a lower status, this is the Egyptians, then you had no right to cut your hair. No way, you don't cut your hair. Who are you? Stay with your hair so that when it's summer, you burn properly. But if you are the royals in the Egyptian, shave your hair completely. This is the men, so that when it is cold, you can wear your wig. You know, those ones that were straight over here, you know. So this is a little bit of the history of the African hair and why some Africans hate their hair. Some, not all, not knowing that actually they have one of the best hair in the world because they can do anything with it. They can have different hairstyles. They can wear it short. They can wear it long. They can wear it straight. They can wear it curly. They can have different types of braids that they want. And yet, some people still do not embrace their own African hair. Guys, so if you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Ciao!